What's up, CTN? Are you guys excited? I said, are you guys excited? Woo! Awesome, awesome. Thanks, guys. Welcome to my presentation. My name is Goro Fujita. I'm an art director at Facebook. I started my career as an animator working in the commercial and feature film industry in Germany before I joined DreamWorks Animation as a development artist, visual development artist, where I worked there for 7 years. And during my 7 years, I worked on movies such as Megamind, Madagascar 3, Penguins of Madagascar, and Boss Baby. And in 2015, I left DreamWorks Animation, joined Oculus Story Studio as an art director, working on VR experiences, such as Henry and Wolves in the Walls. So I want to focus today on my VR part of my story. And speaking about VR, this presentation is now streamed live to VR, where we have a virtual audience. About 500 people, I hope, are watching right now. So switch the camera over. There's a camera over there, so give them a cheer. Woo! Megan Fitzgerald, if you can hear me, raise your hand and make yourself visible in VR. So I can't hear her, but I think she's waving now like crazy, which is cool. So let's get started. So first I want to borrow a sentence from Steve Jobs. So he said, every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And for me, it was this device. I'm old enough to experience this, right? So this is an Amiga, one of the first graphics computers. I never owned one, but my friends did. So I always remember looking forward to go to my friend's place, and I'm like, let's play, right? And that's the only way I could play video games because my parents were totally against it. And I would do sleepovers and stuff like that, and we're just playing all night and changing the disc. Once the game stopped, it was super futuristic and amazing, right? And then in 1989, this thing came along. So I didn't know anything about this, and I was like, I want this looks cool, but of course my parents are like, hell no, right? You're not gonna get it. And my uncle, however, he gifted us this for Christmas. And my parents are like, oh my God, what are you doing, right? But my brother and I, we held it for the first time, and for the first time we had a handheld device that had smooth animations. I still remember the day when I played Mario for the first time, and I was like, what is this thing? You can never let it go, right? So that was insanity to me, and I still remember that moment vividly. And of course, the iPhone, right? Which changed the way we communicate forever. So one thing those three devices have in common is they created moments that I remember forever because they were so impactful. And in 2015, I was introduced to the Oculus Rift. And little did I know that this device with Quill would change my life. And if you don't know about Quill, I'm going to go over this, but this was something completely unexpected for me, and this was definitely the tool that changed my life multiple times. So it's not just one memory, it's multiple memories. And I want to talk about that today. So what is Quill? At Oculus Story Studio, we developed this VR experience called The Angelica. The director, Sascha Unselt, had the idea to tell a VR story entirely through illustrations, VR illustrations. That's Sascha right there. It's a photoreal version of him. But then we had no idea how. There was no technology for it. So we did several different attempts, line art mapped on 3D geometry, particles creating the line art, then 2D art mapped on with alpha planes and stuff like that. And the problem with those approaches were that we instantly knew that how it was made. Somebody that knows about 3D, he can go in there and they're like, oh, I know how you did this, right? So this was distracting from the actual story. So we wanted to do something better than that. So the art needed to look like it came directly straight from the artist's mind on the canvas. That's when Inigo happened. So in a 2-day hackathon, Inigo, the mastermind behind Quill, he created a VR painting tool prototype that later on became Quill. This is a true story, by the way. It was actually, no, it was faster than 48 hours. So I remember he came to me and he was like, hey, test it out. And I was like, holy crap, right? And this is Sascha saying, holy crap, right? And Inigo's reaction is, oh, it's just math, it's nothing special. But everybody was speechless, and we knew this is going to be the thing. This is going to be what we're going to use. So Sascha contacted talented artist Wesley Alsbrook, and she is an editorial illustrator, and we hired her as the art director for D'Angelica, and her illustrative style had the right flow and energy for the story. And because it was so intuitive, she picked it up super fast, and she started painting the world around herself, and everybody was happy, and we were blasting through production, and, happy ending. Wrong. The reality was more like this, right? So here's a little clip from D'Angelica. D'Angelica was released in December 2016 into the Oculus Store, so it's available for you to view if you have a VR setup. So make sure, if you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful experience. Make sure to check it out. Here's a little snippet of it. Pretty cool, huh? Now, unfortunately, I didn't work on D'Angelica. I was busy with other projects. But Quill has, like I said, multiple moments. It created multiple moments that I remember forever. So I want to talk about these moments now. So this is CU02. Some of you guys know him. It's like a robot that I designed and created in 2004. And CU stands for Cooking Unit. And this is like one of the prototypes. So he has a malfunction and falls in love with a street cat and leaves the kitchen. So since 2004, I sent him to numerous places in the world. He likes travel with his guitar. And I let him travel with his guitar. And he's taking a walk in Italy. And this is the time where he visits New York for the first time, before me. How dare you? Right? But I went to New York this year for the first time, so it was super cool. All right, so during this time, while I was painting him and sending him around the world, I never thought even that we would ever cross paths, until Inigo wrote Quill. And all of a sudden, I can meet him in VR. I was painting him in front of me. He becomes physical. And then I painted myself an umbrella. We're in this rainy city. And then I'm walking around him. He's standing right in front of me. And I was in awe. That was the first time I met someone who was inside my mind. And that was, for me, like the first unforgettable moment. Let me show you where we first ran into each other. So this is the city intersection. You can dim the lights. It's fine. So basically, this is a city intersection where we first met. I put rain sound in it, and the rain was like falling down on my umbrella, dripping off my umbrella. I was standing right in front of him. And this was like this crazy moment where I was, this is what you look like, huh? And I was actually talking. I was like, this is strange. Like you don't exist, but now you do. It was like really strange, and Inigo is here, down there on the bottom left. That's Inigo walking in the rain without an umbrella. So this was the first incredible moment for me where I was like, this is going to change everything. And then as I was talking to Inigo, Inigo claimed at that time already, this was, I believe, like sometime in 2015, he was like, Quill has an infinite canvas. And I'm like, yeah, right. So I was like, if somebody tells me something like this, I take this as a challenge, right? So I was like, let's see if it's really infinite, Inigo. And I made this. Might look familiar to you. It's Worlds and Worlds. So I remember, so the idea was, if I want to make an infinite canvas, I want to make like an endless world where you can zoom in and zoom in and zoom in. And I remember looking at this ant here and zooming out like that. I was in the office. I'm like, holy crap, this is gonna change everything again, right? So this was like the next moment where I was like, whoa, we're onto something really big. And I knew that especially because my wife's wedding dress's tailor messaged me saying, I saw your piece, you posted it on social media. I'm like, how? Like don't have any mutual friends and you're not in the animation industry. But it ended up getting 2 million views, and that's when I knew, wow, it's gonna change something. So in late 2016, we created a first prototype of the animation feature in Quill. And this is especially exciting to me because I was a visual development artist for a long time, but starting as an animator, it brought animation back to me. So I was like, oh, this is exciting. This is when I created a moment in time. So the idea was to capture a moment that you can explore from multiple angles without the fear of missing out. So you can look at it at your own pace. And I also painted my own office at home. Here, that's me painting, right? So this was already inception, right? I painted myself, and the Oculus Rift has I have a flat nose, so there's a pretty huge gap underneath the headset where I can always look and peek. And I was basically standing in front of my desk, just like what you're seeing right there, peeking through the headset and trying to paint the environment, just like that. So this is exactly my room. So while I was painting it, I was always looking at reference, but at some point, I had a lot of reference points already in VR. So I was like, I'm gonna paint the right side of my room, and I'm like, I'm gonna look at the reference, and I look over to the right, and I'm like, I see black space. And my brain is like, what did I wanna do again? And then I keep painting, and I'm like, oh, I wanted to look at reference. I look again, and I'm like, black space. What did I want to do again? And I'm like, oh, I actually have to look up because I'm not in my real room, right? So that was like super crazy, where I was like, this is like messing with my mind, right? And it kept happening. The more detail I added, the more I thought I'm actually in my room, and I see my hands moving in front of me as well, and I'm like, oh, what's going on, right? And then I zoom out, and I'm like, I just became a soul, left my body, right? So it was like pretty crazy. And then I invited Inigo over, so he looked at this piece first. And a year later, I invited him over to my place, and I'm like, oh, by the way, this is my place. And he was like, I've been here before. He's like, this is smaller than I remember, right? And I'm like, you're right, because I added an extra window because it had to match the facade, right? So he actually remembered the virtual space as a physical space. And this is freaking crazy, right? So those are like moments and stories that I love to tell because it was like totally unthinkable at the point. So here you see the side-by-side comparison. Left is my quill painting, and right is the real live action footage. You asked me how I recorded this. I strapped the GoPro on my headset. And I was looking through the gap, matching it on my iPhone, what the GoPro sees, and then I was like moving around the scene, trying to match it up, and then I hit record on both, and I looked around. But if you squint, you can't even tell. Like some of my friends, they saw this post on Facebook, and they would say like, why are you showing me like 2 images? You know, like those are 2 photoreal, like what is it? Is it like a stereo movie or something? And I'm like, look carefully. Left is painted, right is real, right? And they're like, oh my God, right? And then last year, I had the opportunity to show it to my 99-year-old grandma, which was like a beautiful moment for me and really made me emotional. She was looking at it and she's like, I don't see my hands. Okay, I get it. No feet either. Okay, that's good. You know, she looks around. You painted this? I wish I could show it to my husband, right? So I was like, man, this is so cool. And she was like reaching for stuff, you know. And I was able to, she has seen everything, right? She was born at the end of World War I, right? She lived through all of it. And then I was able to actually share what's in here with her. Beautiful. And then the animation feature, we advanced the animation feature forward, and which created the next memorable moment for me when I created weather for the first time. So for this piece, I imported the sound first, and it was like this violent storm. And I started painting the environment and started animating the trees. And I get into like this trance. I'm like, whoa, I'm like creating weather. And back then, the duplication tool was brand new. So we couldn't duplicate before. So everything you've seen before, I had to like manually duplicate the layers. We didn't have a selection and duplicate tool, which I'm going to show in my demo later. But this is the first time where I felt truly like a magician, because I started creating those animated trees and those leaves flying around, and the sound was violent as hell. And I was just like in the studio and painting, and I'm creating this weather, right? And I'm like, there's a patch of grass swinging around, I'm like, okay, maybe let me select it. So I didn't know that it was possible. I selected it over time. It was an 8-frame cycle. I selected it, held it in there, and I'm like, duplicate, right? And then I had moving grass in my hand. And I'm like, this is incredible, right? And I messaged our engineer, Sebastian. I was like, Sebastian, I just duplicated animated grass. And he said, yeah, I made it that way. I'm like, oh, you're amazing, right? So I started populating like the grass. It was an unbelievable moment for me. But the next memory is probably one of the biggest ones that I have so far. So that was when I was able to make my school dream come true. When I was an animator at school and graduated as an animator, I was like, now I have all the knowledge. Now I want to make another short film with all the knowledge I have. And during the time when I was at DreamWorks, I was like, when is the right time to do this? And as a 3D animator, I know how long things take. I know that if I would do it on my own, I have the character design, I have the model, I have the rig, I have the texture, I have the render and light and everything, right? So I know all those steps, but basically I needed to find time to do it. I didn't want to quit my job, right? DreamWorks was also my dream job, and I'm like, I'm not going to sacrifice that, so I'm going to wait for the right tool. Then Quill came along, and I fulfilled my dream. And this is a short film called Beyond the Fence. You can see it. I finished it last year in October. So it is a multi-user experience. You see those avatars in here. I designed it for 4 users that can watch it simultaneously in the Facebook social platform, Facebook Spaces. So it is available right now. If you have a VR headset, go in there and take some friends with you and watch it together. And you can also watch it today in the VR storytelling experience area at the Quill booths. You can test out Quill, but you can also watch the full short film. So this is especially a strong memory for me because of how long it took. So this is a 2-minute short film, entirely hand animated. There's no lighting in there. Everything you see is hand painted. Even if he's jumping here and the shadow is moving, I'm basically animating 2 characters, right? So this is entirely painted, 100% coming out of my imagination. So now, how long would this take? I was done in 3 weeks. 3 weeks from initial idea to the finished piece. So I was including the story writing, including storyboarding, including audio recording for the voiceover, all the way to the finished piece within 3 weeks. And I remember I did the last stroke, and I was like, oh my God, I did this. What have I done, right? This is gonna change the industry in a big way. Because if I can do this alone, how much would this enhance entertainment production? How much cost it would bring it down when artists work like this in VR? From storyboarding, color keys, and everything. It could inform every aspect of production. So you can watch it today, so check it out in the immersive storytelling experience area. And then this is the moment where I'm like, sending it out to Facebook Spaces for the first time. Look how happy I look. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, boom. And repeat, look, I'm like genuinely happy. This was an amazing moment. And today will be yet another moment. So in the immersive, VR gave me more memorable experiences than I could ever wish for. And today, I started yesterday, released my latest piece called The Last Oasis. And it is an experience that I created specifically for the upcoming headset, the Oculus Quest, which is a standalone headset. And you might have seen that big demo room over there where you can actually experience it today for the first time ever. Thank you. So when I create experiences, I always think of why VR, right? It has to be better in VR. What I design has to be better in VR than in any other medium. So for Last Oasis, my idea was to create an experience that you explore at your own pace, but you explore space, because now you are untethered. You're tetherless, you can just walk around and explore a space. I'm not going to spoil much, but basically, you will understand the narrative, or you might not understand, but I hope you will. You walk around and explore the space, you will have sound cues and everything, and then you will figure out what happened, where you are. And here's a little trailer for The Last Oasis. I'm Goro Fujita, and I'm an art director at Facebook working on Quill. The Last Oasis is a first-of-its-kind VR narrative entirely created in Quill, an experience I designed specifically for the Oculus Quest. For me, it was always a dream to be able to dive into my own paintings or dive into other people's paintings. And with Quest, you remove the wires. You become tetherless, right? Which means you can freely now move around the space.
Oculus Quest is a standalone mobile VR headset that is completely untethered. There are no wires, and everything that you need for compute is directly in the headset itself.
I believe virtual reality is super exciting, especially for storytelling. For the first time, we can use virtual reality to bring people into different places which were painted by someone.
Usually I create a painting and I choose my compositions. This was more about like how do I design for space and how can I create different emotions in each space. So I use color language, different lighting, so when you dive into a new space, you feel different. It's not just a painting anymore. You can actually send people into your mind, and I think that's like the most powerful thing for an artist I could have never dreamt of doing. It is the purest form of the artistic vision that you can experience in VR. Thank you. Thank you. So this is really like a CTN exclusive experience right now because the headset is not released yet. So make sure do not miss this and check it out over there. All right, what's next? I'm going to show you how it's done. All right, let me put on the headset here. Make sure. I'm going to put on the loops. That. All right. I hope everybody in VR is enjoying my VR performance. VR into real world, back into VR. It's like true inception, right? So let me hide this guy, and we're gonna go to this. All right, it's working. You guys can see this, right? All right. I have about 15 minutes left, so I'm not gonna do something crazy. It will be still crazy enough for you guys, but I wanted to do a bigger piece, but I don't think I have enough time. So I'm just gonna get started and walk you through it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just create a patch of, this is just a brush, regular brush, and you see that wireframe here. I can turn it on and off to see depth, which is cool. But I'm not gonna go into crazy details here, but let me make, this is good. So I'm gonna create a little bit of a soil patch here. You see this is a duplication that I was waiting for before the storm. That sounds fun. That sounds epic before the storm. So yeah, let me. That's like our color picker sound. I like that bass we're getting here. This is awesome. This is super fun. All right, so I'm gonna just create like a floating island or something like that, and let me just duplicate this here. I have to be a little bit quicker. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so I also gave a VR painting workshop the past 2 days, and there's some of them here, some of my students. So that was super exciting, right? Oh, 2 people. Okay, that's fine. Woo! Okay, so I'm gonna just, let me create like a little path here. This is good. And then I'm gonna create like a little wall here. You know what? I'm gonna paint some rocks. So I'm gonna create a new layer and paint some rocks here. Maybe I use the line tool. Yeah, that's better. So let me just do some cliff. Line tool. I like your enthusiasm down there. Yeah. Well, wait until the awesomeness starts. This is nothing. Yeah. Now it's gonna be. Now I have to really blow your mind. But I think I can. Oh, I'm so cocky, huh? But you know what? It's still blowing my mind, so I'm not worried that it's gonna blow yours. So okay. So we need some more rocks here. So let me put some rocks here. Okay, I have to look at the clock. Okay, this was 2 minutes so far, right? So in 2 minutes, I'm already creating like a decent terrain. Let me go back to the soil layer, extend it a little bit, maybe something like this. This is good. This looks good. Okay, let's make a tree. We need trees. So I'm gonna create a new layer and then draw some trees, some beautiful trees here. And by the way, I might be moving my head super violently. So if you look at the screen up front, the big one, and you guys get sick, just close your eyes and listen to my beautiful voice. Or look at the monitor on the left side there, because it might actually make you sick, because I'm moving in physical space, so I'm like totally fine moving around the way I want, but for you guys, you're seeing all this, right? So okay, sorry. I'm gonna keep it fairly steady, but I have only a few minutes, so I'm gonna work really, really fast here. So this is the canopy. I'm gonna just reuse what I have already and just dress it out like this. Yeah, but this is not the mind-blowing part, trust me. Yeah, ooh, this canopy. Okay, we have the canopy here. At this point, I think I want to duplicate. So I'm just gonna select this whole tree and then duplicate it around like this, and scale it down at the same time, something like this. And then I wanna also start to introduce some lighting. So this tree is like totally duplicated, so I'm gonna just rotate it and make it look different. I'm just gonna select this, select the trees like that, and move it out a little bit to add some lighting to it. So Inigo's not gonna like this, the way I work here, but for this demo, I just have to save some time, okay? So be quiet, Inigo. Okay, so woo, look at that, I'm lighting it, yeah. Woo. So this is pretty crazy, right? This looks pretty, wow. I'm getting cocky and cocky, I should stop. You have to buy my prints, so I have to be nice. All right, so let me color it a little bit here too. Boom, boom, boom. Like some lighting. Add some lighting here. This looks good. Now, because this part is in shadow, I have to add some purples because the sky is blue. Let me just color it a little bit here and maybe multiply it a little bit, make it a little bit darker. There you go. Holy crap, yeah. All right, I'm gonna save this now, and we have to add some animation. So this was just 5 minutes, right? I forgot grass. Let me do moss and grass. So let me do that real quick. So shadow color, a little bit darker, something like this. And then I'm gonna, let me do this. Grass. Is this the grass layer? Yeah. I feel like supercharged ninja, VR ninja moving fast. Right, so this is like the moss, and then I'm gonna do some grass. So the grass on a new layer, maybe I do some grass patches here, boom, boom, move it around, boom, boom. Okay, put the grass over here. Colorize the tips so I have some color variation, right? So not multiply, I want to be in normal mode, and then I can just colorize it, add a little bit of nice little accents. Yeah, there we go. And let me put it here. And maybe I want to thicken it a little bit, so boop, boop, thanks. Okay, so this is good, this is good, this is looking good. All right, so time for animation. So, ooh, I like you down there. So, okay, all right, so we have the canopy here. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna animate the canopy. So what I'm gonna do, here's the animation panel, maybe let's add like 15 frames or something, hit play, and then I'm gonna use the nudge tool and move, and oh, now the canopy is moving in the wind. Yes! What? This is insane, right? But wait for the good stuff. This is not yet the good stuff, right? Okay, we're like 6 minutes in so far. Isn't that crazy, 6 minutes? And I have already animation in real time. All right, so we need water. Let's do the water. Okay, water, water, water. Let's pick the color. Okay. Just extra stressful movements here, but okay. I'm gonna create maybe like 15 frames or something, hit play, and then, guess what? You become the water. What does it mean, Goro? I'll show you. Become the water. Oh, shit! All right, sorry, we can't edit it out. It was like, it's live broadcast, sorry about that. That makes it extra fun, right? So I'm just becoming the water. You know the interview from Bruce Lee, if you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you paint a waterfall, you become the waterfall, right? So now I need some crashing foam here. Whoa, 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 yes. All right, we have this now. Okay, let me make the stroke a little bit longer and add a little bit more water here. I'm gonna fill it up here and down here. Fill it up a little bit so we don't have any gaps. And then, for the people that are in production, I was an art director too, but there's always that annoying art director that comes along. Where's my rock layer? So let me go to my rock layer here. And that comes along and says, like, hey, Goro, I thought it's a good idea. Let me just paint a rock. That's faster. Yeah, nicer. So, okay, Goro, I thought it's a nice idea to put a rock right here. And I'm like, oh man, like, I'm like simulating and stuff like that. I'm like, couldn't you have it said sooner? Like now I have to do the simulation again. Guess what? In Quill, it's like, yes, I can do more animation. Real time, real time. Right? Isn't that cool? Yeah. Give me some applause. Come on. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay, let's go forward. Okay, like the grass needs to blow in the wind, right? How do I do this? I create frames, 15 frames, use the nudge tool, and guess what? Become the wind. Right? So that's the thing, right? Like your movement matters. And now I can re-experience that moment. Let me go to the grass layer. Which one was the grass layer? This is the grass layer, right? So now I can re-experience the moment I selected over time. Selected. What? I have blowing grass in my hands, right? This is pretty cool. And I can populate that. There you go, more grass, which is cool. But okay, this was 10 minutes in, right? So we have already this. But we also need some leaves falling down the trees, right? So I'm going to create a new layer, fill it up, maybe like, this time we need like maybe 4 seconds, 100 frames. 100 frames, oh, almost, boom. There we go. Hit play, I pick the color. Where's my brush? I'm going to use the flat brush here. I'm going to use an animation duration like this. Nobody's laughing anymore. All right, all right. Become the leaf. Now I'm moving like the leaf, and it's falling. What? Yes, that's what I think. Still, to date, right? Okay, I have 9 minutes left. That's enough for character animation, but we'll see. I'm just trying to hustle here, because I need 5 minutes for the closing words. So I have to finish early, okay? The countdown, I see 9 minutes. And you might think, like, where do you see the countdown? Well, I have that gap, remember? So whenever I do this, you know that I'm looking at you guys, right? All right, so some of the leaves, they're like falling in the light. So, you know, these are falling into the shadow, you know, but I want to light those leaves. Then I just go to color dodge, you know, and then I just hold it into the light. Hold on, I have to make it more active, and now it's becoming brighter. You know what? I go to normal mode, I go to full color, make the highlight color. There you go, boom, boom, boom. Okay, we need some bugs flying around, so I'm gonna do some flies or something like here. So. Okay, those are flies. Okay, we need some butterflies. So let's animate some butterflies. The butterflies will be in shadow, so it's something like this. This color, I go to the ribbon brush here, and then, guess what? Become the butterfly. Wait for it. There it is. Boom, and then this butterfly is enthusiastic and flies up and up and up into the light and back. Oh, I lost tracking. That's fine. Okay, let me just quickly paint him. He's in the light, chase him. Oh, I actually colorized some of the leaves, so I'm gonna try to avoid them. Oh, okay, good. All right, we have 3 minutes left. Okay, let me do a little rabbit. Okay, draw a little rabbit really fast. Boom, 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 boom. You know what? I'm gonna do it differently. I'm gonna use this technique where you can revolve a perfect sphere. Boom, 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 boom. Oops, come on. Oh. Okay. Ears. Inside of the ears. Let me see, I have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes should be enough for character animation. So I'm gonna do something like this. And I'm serious, guys, I'm serious. So, okay, so we have the bunny here, and I'm gonna put the bunny, he needs highlights in the eyes. I'm such a perfectionist, right? Highlights in the eyes, like this. Okay, so I'm gonna put the bunny here, and I'm gonna hit play. Oh, I accidentally killed an animation. Let me see the animation layer. Okay, this is the animation layer. Okay, I'm gonna do that part again maybe if I have time, but let me just remove this, rescue the rabbit, and I'm gonna hide the leaves. Now focus on the rabbit, please. So, okay, we have the rabbit here. I'm gonna turn on the animate, duplicate, transform selection, and then what I'm gonna do is boom, animate, boom, jump. He comes to a halt up there to the top, slows down, and he falls, and I hit play, and then he's jumping around already, right? So once he's jumping around, now I'm using the nudge tool to squash and stretch him. So I go frame by frame. So here he's a right? And then he's gonna stretch. Oh, stretch. Okay, I have 30 seconds, that's enough. Okay, it goes up, and then it starts stretching. Okay, I want some motion blur here, so I'm gonna remove this guy and then just add some motion blur. Here, some motion blur. I don't have to do the sound, huh? So, okay. Now we have a motion blurred frame, and there we need another motion blurred frame, actually. Otherwise, it's like too weird. So I'm going to do this, and then now you see the motion blur, right? Which is really cool, but I want more than one bunny, so I'm going to turn on all the things here, all the frames. So I'm going to just duplicate the bunny a few times here. All right? And then I'm going to turn on that layer again, and I'm going to get rid of the static stuff. For some reason, I lost the tree trunks. There you are. OK, now I hit play. OK, this is looking good, right? So this is looking good. OK, now I'm going to change the frame rate on each one of them, so we have some variation in there. So I'm so stressed out. I'm like already exhausted. I have 4 more minutes. OK, 4 more minutes. I'm going to switch back to the real world soon. But you see, now it is jumping around like this. Isn't that the coolest thing? Yeah. All right. I'm going to come back to the real world. I'm not done yet. God damn it, those loops. Okay. I have 3 minutes, 56 seconds. Okay, the video is 2 minutes long. I can do this. I have to switch. Display. Extend these displays. Keep changes. Move back to the demo. I have to restart the presentation. I'm commenting everything I'm thinking. Okay, demo time. No, demo is over. All right, so you think this was just so fast because it was me. Part of it is true, right? But part of it is, how long does it take to learn this? What if I tell you it's 6 hours? Because there's people here in the room. Please stand up, the people that worked in my workshop. 1, 2, 3. That's about it? Oh, come on, guys, I need more support. But, okay, give them an applause. So, this is what those students created in my 6-hour workshop. I did a little reel, enjoy. Here we go, this is your time. That looks familiar. Isn't this pure magic? Those people, most of them were first-time VR, first-time Quill users. Some of them already had some experience, but the person with the library at the end, she never drew in Quill before, and she never animated in Quill before. And this is why I believe in this so much. This is going to stay. This is the next digital wave. And we have the opportunity now to actually, hey, I'm not done with my slides. Exactly. To actually form this new medium, right? So we are part of this new wave. And if I was you, I would not wait to ride this wave because you can define it, right? So this is what I want to tell you. Let's define this new medium together. I'm not going to be able to do this alone. And I've been driving a lot of art and VR into social media, but I can't do this alone. I don't want to do this alone, right? So you guys can be part of something completely new and define it, and in 20 years you will look back, I was part of that wave. And I came up with these ideas that defined the future. Thanks, guys.